You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. So, a new video was released that shows what happened before Minneapolis cops murdered George Floyd. This is taken from a convenience store right where the cops were. From a different angle, though. Watch this video. There, folks, is that right-hand corner, police car pulls up. You see the officer sit George Floyd down right there on the pavement. Now, allegedly, he had forged a check at a convenience store. A third cop shows up. You see two cops on the scene. Then a third cop shows up on the scene. And so you see the officer, you see George Floyd there on the right cooperating. You see him, you don't see him belligerent. Now, granted, there's no audio on this, but you're seeing his demeanor. You're seeing how he is acting. Now, this is a 2-minute and 26 video. Keep in mind the total exchange that took place was 10 minutes. And so you see he's talking to the officer. You see a couple of officers there. One of them has a mask on. The other two do not have masks or gloves on. And they're taking information. And then, of course, again, we're just watching this. And so you see the officer who's talking to him. You don't see George Floyd. Now, remember, the cop said that George Floyd was being belligerent and how they had to handle them. We don't see any of that in this particular video. A stark contrast to what the officers actually said. And so right now you're going to see the officer, I think in a moment, about to lift George Floyd up. And again, he's talking to him and you see Floyd, he's leaning to the left there while the officer, now the officer reaches down, not sure what he reached down and put in his pocket. And so now at this particular point, he's lifting George Floyd up. Floyd is trying to help himself up, get up as well. Again, we don't see Floyd's head, don't see his face. Now we see him, he's now walking away, and so obviously Floyd looks like he's in pain with how he's being held. He's not resisting, he's not fighting back, he's not any of that. You see them now walking George Floyd over to the car, and it's at this point is when they're going to go on the other side of the police car. And so you see they're out of frame. Now they're going going across the street. Joining us right now is the attorney for the family, Ben Crump. Ben, I'm going to go to you first. We also, of course, are joined by George Floyd's brother, Tara Brown, as well as George Floyd's cousin. I'm going to get to them in a moment. Ben, I want to deal with you. Okay, so first of all, we see in the video where they're walking him across the street. Was that where the altercation took place, where he ended up being murdered by these cops? So set that scene for us.
Well, we know that it was a convenience store. They alleged that he has some allegation of forgery, Roland, which is a non-violent crime. But yet the police, even though, as you articulated very well, there seems to be no resistance by George. He's not making any violent threats towards the police officer. So we are just confused as to understand why they feel the need to use such excessive force that ended up being lethal. And when they're walking them down that street, we can't understand what is going on unless they are trying to get him to go back to the store where he allegedly had the forgery at, but they haven't told the family anything at this point because they say it's an ongoing investigation, Roland Martin, but nothing in that investigation would be able to justify that police officer putting his knee on his neck for 9 minutes. Not 1 minute, not 2 minutes, not 3 minutes, not 4 minutes, not 5 minutes, not 6 minutes, not 7 minutes, not 8 minutes, but 9 minutes. And I do that for dramatic effect, Roland Martin, because people have to understand for 9 minutes, George Floyd begged for air. He begged to say, please take your knee off my neck. I can't breathe. He even called out for his mother. I mean, this is a man who's obviously trying to breathe, but yet the police offer him no humanity whatsoever. And that's why when you look at that video, it's hard to watch, because what you're looking at, Roland Martin, is a murder.
And here again, so you said they got called because allegedly he was forging a check.
Well,
Does that require 4 cops?
Yeah, it doesn't require 4 cops, and we don't believe there ever was a forgery, Roland. And so that's what we think is even more problematic about this. George committed no crime, but even if he committed a $10, well, they said they thought the $10 bill might not be real, which is asinine. But even if that was the case, does that justify 4 cops manhandling this man in this manner? He's handcuffed, Roland, when he's down with his face down, and they put their knee on his neck, and there's 3 officers on him, and 1 officer keeping the public back who's trying to offer him assistance. They're begging the police. It's not the police de-escalating the situation. It seems like they're escalating it. Members of the public trying to de-escalate the police.
And again, so in the video there, now that was taken at a convenience store, and he's being led across the street. And so I would love to understand in terms of, where is he going? And was this, first of all, was this the scene? Was this where he ended up eventually getting killed, or was it another spot as well in this particular video here? Because again, at the conclusion of this video, he's led across the street somewhere else. And so, do you know how long this entire altercation was, meaning from the moment the cops arrived on the scene till the moment EMS came there? Like, how much time are we talking about?
We don't know that at this point, but we do know that the incident with the officer who had his knee on his neck lasted 9 minutes. And
right.
That officer was not there, Roland, at the beginning of this interaction with the police. And we do know when the EMS got there, they did not seem to be all that enthused about moving him quickly. It seems like there was delay in that too. So we want to look at every aspect of this murder and put it in context what happened before and what happened after, because that's the only way we can get the family the answers and the truth that they deserve.
One of the things that I have explained to people is that, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, there are some people who are sitting here who are on social media, and they say, Ben Crump and these civil rights lawyers fail again. I got to keep reminding people, y'all aren't the prosecutors. You're not even trying any of these cases, and so I think people misunderstand that.
Yeah, Roland, it's often the case, and you're a student of history. We know Thurgood Marshall and Martin Luther King, they always had critics when they were the people who were fighting for our rights and fighting for our culture, but yet sometimes our people, for whatever reason, would attack them. But the thing that is good for people like you and I, Roland, we know what our mission is in life, and we look forward and we don't look back, and you don't worry about any of the naysayers, because you know God is using you for a mission, and our mission is to use this education, this talent, this law degree, and try to make a difference to give justice to our people. The prosecutor is the only person who can arrest somebody and convict somebody. All we can do as private citizens is bring wrongful death civil suits and try to advocate for our clients to make sure they get justice. But it's on all of us, because if that prosecutor does not do it, then we need to get rid of that prosecutor. And I'm very proud to say, Roland, in the aftermath of every high-profile case that we had, the prosecutors got defeated, whether it was in Trayvon Martin with Aramis Ayala in Orlando, whether it was in Ferguson, Missouri, where Wesley Bell became the first African American get elected, or whether it was in Tamir Rice when that prosecutor failed to do his job. So the power is with the people, and we're all in this together, and we should try to be uplifting each other and trying to be united for justice versus trying to say, oh, this person should do this and this person should do that. We should have elected officials that treat our children like they treat their children, because it's about equal justice in America. And if George Floyd is going to get a conviction, it's going to be because all of us collectively held the prosecutor's feet to the fire, just like with Ahmaud Arbery, just like with Breonna Taylor and all these other cases. It's only us coming together to hold the prosecutor's feet to the fire. We did it in Botham Jean. We did it in Corey Jones. Recently, the prosecutors have been doing their jobs, but we have to stay on them.
I do want to ask you this question here. A lot of people are very critical of the response last night from Minneapolis police to those who were out protesting, firing of tear gas, rubber bullets. They juxtaposed that when you had white folks at the state capitol who were complaining about having to wear masks or shelter in place, and you didn't see the exact same reaction from cops.
Absolutely, Roland. When you think about it, it's always the rules change when it's people of color trying to exercise our constitutional rights. When you had the conservative folks at the Michigan Capitol saying we got First Amendment rights to express ourselves on, we want to open back up the country regardless of it might cause people to die from the coronavirus, where it was no problem when they want to exercise their First Amendment rights. But when we want to come and exercise our rights to say that George Floyd life mattered, then the police say, oh, y'all not social distancing, y'all not doing this, come up with every textbook reason based on discrimination to try to deny people of color, especially black people, our constitutional rights. And so what we have to keep doing is using our voice to call them out every chance they try to act like there are two justice systems in America, one for African Americans and one for white America. Now it has to be equal justice for the United States of America. And like my mentor, Thurgood Marshall, said, I know that the Constitution wasn't meant for us when it was first signed, but we're American citizens, and we're going to make the Constitution ours no matter what they say.
All right. Ben Crump was attorney for the family of George Floyd. We sure appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Roland.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin unfiltered video in just 1 moment.
All right, folks, we want you to support the black-owned company Ceek. Mary Spiel, her sister, she created these amazing headphones. I love it being black and gold. I know, Scott, it's all good. And again, they are 360-degree sound headphones. Y'all should have a slideshow. Y'all should be rolling. Thank you very much. She created these Bluetooth. You can listen to them for gaming as well. Folks, the sound is amazing. Let me tell y'all something. I got about 10 pair of headphones. I've got Bose. I got a whole bunch of them. But these 4D 360-degree headphones are amazing. They've got a great discount for those of you who support this show. You can use this code to get these headphones. They're phenomenal. Right there. All you got to do is go to Ceek.com, use the promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020. In addition to that, folks, she created this virtual reality headset. All right, so come back to me, guys. So this is real simple. If you go to Ceek.com, or if you're looking at some 360-degree videos on YouTube, you simply place your phone right here into the headset, and then what you do is you just put the headset on, just like this here. And so you can then watch these virtual reality videos here as well, folks. I'm telling you, it's a whole different experience when you've watched a VR video or a 360-degree video, because what happens is the way it's shot, you can literally look all around you, and that's the whole deal. In fact, we're going to, next week, hopefully we're going to have it taken care of. I actually shot some 360-degree video right here in our studio. And so we're going to upload it so you can be able to see literally this entire set. You can see the whole set. You can see what's on the side, what's on the behind. It's pretty great. So go to Ceek.com and you can get this VR headset or you can get these headphones right here. Don't forget, use that promo code RMVIP2020. We support Black-owned businesses. This is a sister. She's a native of Ghana. She actually created these devices. She has that site, Ceek.com, and so it's some great stuff there. So please, we want y'all to support Mary Spiel and Ceek.com. Don't forget RMVIP2020.